Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our show brought to you by Safety Systems, East Tennessee's #1 source for security and entertainment needs, whether it's a fire system for your home, a security and monitoring system for your business, or the best home theater design for your media room. Safety Systems, been doing it all for more than 15 years. Give them a call this week to learn more. All right, just FYI, no overtime segment today. The show will be posted online as soon as we end up here, so that'll be normal, but no overtime today. Want to recap the biggest heroes since our launch in 2003, if we've got that. There we go. You see them: Barnett, Barry, the Big Ten, Rick Clausen, the Colquitt brothers, David Cutcliffe, Joshua Dobbs, Juwan Jennings, Inky Johnson, Peyton Manning, Nick Gervais, and James Wilhoit. And now, the biggest villains, more villains: Clausen, Derek Dooley, Florida, James Franklin, the Georgia Dome, Mike Hamilton, Lane Kiffin, Vanderbilt, Will Muschamp, Nick Saban, the SEC West, Steve Spurrier, Sal Sunseri, Dabo Swinney, and Tim Tebow. I think those are pretty good lists, but there are two guys. Look at this one, left scratching our heads. Two guys made both lists. One, Jalen Hurd, who was such a huge signee at the time, and if he doesn't go in the tank, he could wind up being your all-time leading rusher in a 3-season career. And then the other guy, Matt Rourke, and I don't know, in Kentucky I knew some folks that pronounced it Roark. I don't know if he's Rourke or Roark, but the wide receiver who played quarterback for Kentucky in their 10-7 win in 2011. Jimmy, you had him listed as a hero. Explain why.
I had him listed as a hero because when he beat Tennessee in the last game of the season of Derek Dooley's second year, that set the stage for Dooley being fired. So that was a heroic effort by Rourke to get Dooley out of here because he needed to go. He wasn't fit to be Tennessee. So that set the stage. There was no question after that Dooley wasn't going to make it.
And the fact that Dooley just kind of went into a bunker and went, it's another loss, that didn't help his case.
He initially said, well, so what, it's Kentucky. That's not a rival. And then he understood that you can't lose to Kentucky. So tip of the hat to Matt.
We got about a minute and a half here. Jalen Hurd, I think he especially, you had Rourke on there as kind of a joke. I think Hurd is legit in terms of hero turning into villain. Yeah. Because when you signed him, and those people forget now, those first couple of years, well, again, he could have been your all-time leading rusher with 3 years' work. And then he tanks, quits on the team, and then literally quits. At South Carolina, he quit on his team. You might argue he did so earlier in the year. But Jalen Hurd, hero to villain. Chuck, I'll start with you.
Oh, well, without a doubt. And, you go to the South Carolina game, the game that we've talked about so much. Wasn't that when he refused to go back in the game? There's a fumble in the backfield on the exchange, a freshman running back in there. South Carolina recovers. Then, like 2 plays later, a bust in the secondary, touchdown South Carolina. That's the game. To me, that says so much about what happened. If Jalen Hurd had been the Offensive Player of the Year in the SEC, what kind of season would Tennessee have had?
Right. Mike Strange, your thoughts on Jalen Hurd? You got about a minute.
Well, if we were doing this show in October, he'd be a hero, right?
Well, he hadn't been as good this year, but yes.
Yeah.
He
recovered the fumble.
He
recovered the fumble against Appalachian State.
That's true.
On track to be the all-time leading rusher.
Jimmy, I'll give you the final word. You got about 20, 30 seconds here. You ever seen well, go ahead.
Well, on the positive side for Hurd, the deal was when he ended up committing, he was a running back in the state. There have been very few that good. He was sort of a Pied Piper to helping get a lot of players here that helped you go on to win 9 games 2 years in a row. So that's the positive part. Obviously, the negative is he quit on the team.
Yeah. That's one of the I don't know of anybody else that you'd put in that boat. That's an unusual to go from that high of the hero list to that low of a villain's list.
And not only did he quit on his team, it's a terrible business decision for him.
Probably. Okay, guys, thank you to this crew right here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you right back on WATE 6 next Sunday at 11 a.m. Thanks for watching.